Hey, this is Jesse with Create This. So a little while ago I bought an electric skateboard. I bought a boosted board. And I bought the Dual Plus model. And it's pretty awesome. My kids in particular really enjoy using it. At the same time, I bought an electric bicycle. And both of these were kind of experiments for me because I've been watching some documentaries lately on electric vehicles, and they seem like they're really kind of the way to go, but I didn't want to just go all in and buy like a $35,000, electric car. So I thought, well, what's a way to, get some experience with electric vehicles without breaking the bank, so to speak. So that's what I did. I bought the boosted board first, and I thought, hey, it would also be a lot of fun to review on this channel. Now, having done that and having said that, I've learned a few things. And one of them is that electric skateboards are not quite as practical as you would think that they are. I see a lot of marketing videos on YouTube and just around the internet that really hype them up, and make them look like they're completely awesome. And they are a lot of fun. However, as far as practicality goes, I think I would rather have an e-bike. And one of the biggest reasons why, for me, and again, this is just for me and my city and my location, is that the city that I live in, Chattanooga, Tennessee, has an ordinance. It's ordinance number 11028, and it prohibits us from using electric skateboards or skateboards of any kind. That includes longboards, whatever, on the downtown streets and sidewalks. Now, the problem with this document, I've got it pulled up right here. The problem with this ordinance document is that it's very difficult to translate. Probably you guys are like me, and you don't speak legalese so well. So just first a disclaimer here. This video is not intended to be legal advice in any way, form, or fashion, okay? I'm providing this purely for informational purposes. I've done a little bit of research. This is my best guess at what this means, but I'm not a lawyer, okay? So don't take any of this as legal advice because it's not intended to be that. Now, I met a guy who did a video about longboarding down, I think it was either Lookout or Signal Mountain. And it was a really impressive video. And I asked him, this was when I was buying my e-bike, I asked him, hey, where can we legally longboard in this city? And he said, well, I don't really know. And so he pointed me at this ordinance, and he said, and I said, well, so I looked at that, and it's very difficult for me to tell, beginning at a point in the southeast bank of the Tennessee River, said point being the southwest corner of Parcel 4, Group B, Map 145B, currently owned by ADM Holdings Incorporated. What the hell does that even mean, right? What does that mean? Like, where can I ride it and where can't I? I mean, it's a pretty simple question, right? So he didn't know, and he kind of laughed. He kind of laughed it off. So frustrated, I decided to take it upon myself to attempt to decrypt all of this. So this is my attempt. What I've done here is I've taken each line of this legalese section, call it whatever you will. Let me lower my microphone just a tad. There we go. So I've taken each line of this legalese thing and I've put it into a spreadsheet. Okay, and so you can see I've got 19 rows of legalese. And for each line, I've provided a latitude and a longitude. So these are GPS coordinates. And what I did is I used the Chattanooga GIS government website to find things like, these properties owned by ADM Holdings, right? And then when the legalese is more like, road-based, like a, for example, this one, the southeast corner of 11th Street, right? Like, I would go to Google Maps and I would find that spot as best I could, Granted, some of these may be wrong. There's no warranty associated with this, right? So I tried to find that as best I could, and then I made a mark on the map, and then Google Maps allows you to grab the latitude and longitude from that. So that's what I did, and I put it into this spreadsheet. I'm going to make this spreadsheet available to you down below in the description of this video, so you can take a look at it. You can do whatever you want with it. Then what I did is I took that a step further, okay? I took that spreadsheet and I put it into this thing called Google My Maps, and it allows you to import your CSV file containing latitude and longitude, and it creates points based on those. So I took that, and these are the points. Like, this is that ADM Holdings thing, right? And it created these individual points, and then I just connected them with like the line drawing tool. So to the best of my knowledge, again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm just an average guy on YouTube trying to figure out where he can ride his boosted board. In Chattanooga, this is the prohibited area, everything inside these lines. So it includes, Coolidge Park and everything on, that part of North Shore that's south of Fraser Avenue. This line is not intended to be a straight line. It actually goes all the way along the shoreline here. So everything in downtown, this is all downtown here, and these are the boundaries that they've specified in the ordinance document. So hopefully somebody finds that interesting. Hopefully somebody else who lives in Chattanooga or near Chattanooga and is interested in getting a boosted board or an electric skateboard, hopefully they can just take a look at that and not have to go through the painstaking process that I went through. Again, this link will be down below in the description so that you can click on it and take a look at it yourself without having to watch this video. And I'll just finish up this video by stating that, for me, I don't think that electric skateboards are as practical as e-bikes. That's a multifold statement. Like, I have a lot of reasons for saying that. One reason is this, right? Like, there are apparently a lot of cities, apparently Chattanooga is not the only one. There are a lot of cities that have anti-skateboard ordinances, okay? In addition to that, like, this, you can't really see it here, but there's like a river walk that goes along this river, and it goes all the way, over to North Shore there. And this is a very popular area. That river walk is a great place to ride a boosted board because there's no traffic. You don't have to worry about getting hit by a car or something, right? Unfortunately, you can't ride skateboards on the Riverwalk. You can ride a bicycle. Nobody has any problems with bicycles, but skateboards are expressly prohibited. So, I don't know why. I do know why that is. There are a lot of reasons for it. My gut reaction is, dude, like, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, so my gut reaction is, oh man, the people writing the laws must just be a bunch of old fogies that have never skateboarded before and they just don't give a shit, right? I think it's more complicated than that. In defense of this ordinance, which I don't know why I'm defending it because I don't like it, but in defense of it, if you're grinding your skateboard, on metal railings or sidewalks or whatever, if you're riding it recklessly, you can be a danger to people, right? I mean, you can hurt people, you can hurt yourself, you can destroy property. If you're grinding your skateboard on railings, on corners of any kind, that's an abrasive process, right? So you're going to actually physically damage, buildings and structures that have been built using substantial funds of money that somebody has a vested interest in, right? So I can understand why people wouldn't want to do that. There are liability issues. It's common for people to get injured when they're riding skateboards. Probably more common for people to get injured riding a skateboard than riding, say, a bicycle, right? So it's easy for somebody to get hurt, and if they're hurt when they're on your property, they can sue you because you allowed them to ride that vehicle or that skateboard on your property. I mean, that happens, right? So, I mean, there are a lot of reasons why I think people are motivated to disallow the use of skateboards. However, Having said that, I think electric skateboards are different than skateboards that say you would use for doing tricks or grinding or whatever, right? I mean, most people are commuting on an electric skateboard. Now, maybe longboards could be put into that category too. I don't know. I mean, there are some safety concerns with longboarding. You know, the guy that went down the mountain, if he got hit by a car, if he just like made a mistake or something, it could have ended very badly for him, right? At the same time, people ride motorcycles every day. I used to have a motorcycle, things end very badly for people on motorcycles all the time, right? And we don't outlaw them. We require people to wear helmets in some states don't. In Tennessee, you're required to wear a helmet. We require people to take, safety courses and stuff, get licensed, all of those things, right? There's no reason why you couldn't do that with an electric skateboard. If you wanted to use it as your, as an auxiliary or a primary means of transportation, there's no reason why we couldn't permit people, require them to take safety classes, do whatever is necessary to make people feel good about it, right? And still allow people to use what, frankly, I think is an amazing piece of technology and an amazing engineering feat. I mean, they're pretty cool, right? So, yeah, I've got mixed feelings about the whole thing, but it is what it is, at least until legislation catches up with the state of the art. So I will leave you in this video with a snippet of me traveling down the Riverwalk on my boosted board and actually getting stopped by a ranger, or whatever they call those guys that ride around in the golf carts. He told me to stop riding. I, at the time, didn't realize that there was a sign posted stating that you couldn't skateboard on the Riverwalk, and I was very disappointed when he told me that, but he was very nice about it. And, I wasn't a dick, he wasn't a dick, so it ended well, I suppose. I didn't get fined or anything, He just told me to stop doing it and to carry it away, and I did. But, gives you an idea how you could possibly be treated if you decide to buy one of these things and you want to ride it around a lot. So anyway, this is Jesse with Create This. Hope you found this useful or interesting. If you did, please give us a like down in the lower right hand side, and please subscribe. Okay.
That's not how you sit on it.
I will see you on the flip.
There he goes.
So when I started this out, I had 84% charge. I'm not sure why I had 84% charge. I thought I plugged it in before the trip, but that's what it was. So we're gonna see how far this thing goes. I weigh 200 pounds on an 84% charge. I zeroed out the trip meter. We'll see how long it lasts. We're in Chattanooga on what's called the Riverwalk, and this is a, as you can see, a concrete pathway, footwalk, that travels all along the Tennessee River. It's a lot of fun. Bicycles, all kinds of stuff here. I am really just hoping that I don't take a nosedive into those rocks. They look nasty. This is a boosted dual plus, so 2,000 watts. As you can see, it's having no problems at all with these grades. Ooh, that was a rough one. Do some regen down this hill. I don't know how much of the board you can see down there. Traffic. How's it going?
Hello there. Sir, we don't allow skateboards in the park.
No skateboards, huh?
From Chickamauga Dam all the way down, we don't allow skateboards.
Okay, is that posted?
Yeah, you probably missed 2 signs up there.
All right,
You'll
sorry.
have to run into 2 or 3 more down here.
Okay.
You can carry them, but just don't ride them.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. That's pretty much my experience with the boosted board in Chattanooga. They're all against it. Park rules prohibit alcoholic beverages, other intoxicants, all-terrain vehicles, camping, entrance to closed areas, pets, skateboards. There we go.